everybody, welcome back. Sorry for the late episode. Today, as you can tell, probably, I have a little bit of a horse in my throat. Not a frog in my throat, but a horse in my throat. Usually, first off, it's worth noting it sounds worse than it is. And then, secondarily, it's like starting up an old lawnmower. Like, it starts bad, you're like, I don't think this thing's gonna work. We bought it at Canadian Tire back when their mascot was still that guy who looks like Robin Hood. And then, you know, some of the caffeine hits the bloodstream, some of the water hits the bloodstream. You get used to it, I get used to it. Maybe we talk a little softer, and then it starts to work itself out. So we're gonna give it a try here today. But please, I'm a little ill. Don't go hard on me. I was gonna pick Isaac anyway. If I'm being honest, the odds of me doing delirium willfully are not particularly high, so we'll see about that. But thank you for your patience, by the way, as we are a little bit late today, and I imagine we'll probably be a little bit late tomorrow. Although I do have to acknowledge as well, I better be better tomorrow. Why? Because I bought like an $8 cold pressed juice. And what is the purpose, excuse me, of paying $8 for a cold pressed juice if it doesn't immediately kickstart your immune system and kill whatever kind of like daycare germs are trying to turn my pharynx into a petri dish right now? I am like at heart, I am a skeptic. I am a scientist. Well, you know, I have a scientific mind, which it might sound like I'm trying to be overly grandiose. It's quite the opposite. I think I don't have the qualifications, but I have the disposition. Let's put it that way. It would be much more impressive to have the qualifications and the disposition. Alas, we are not there. But regardless, I recognize that one cold pressed juice is probably not enough. It's not medicine. Let's put it that way. Might have some therapeutic benefit. Tastes pretty good. But I do want to say, for those of you who are like, the juice isn't going to do anything to help you get better, to help you convalesce, have you considered that it was $8? Because, like, if we were talking about a Minute Maid, if we were talking about a Tropicana, a Simply Orange or something like that, I would agree 100%. How can I expect a juice like that to immediately kickstart the healing process? However, this was an $8 juice. So clearly, I mean, a bottle of cough syrup is, what? We're talking about maybe $6, $7, $8. It's got to be kind of expensive because, you know, after 6 p.m. you have to ask the pharmacist to, like, open the case for you to get it. At least here. Okay, take me down. This is just, like, 6 apples and, like, a whole head of kale or something like that. And it's, didn't even have to make it in a lab or anything. It doesn't even have any Robitussin in it. $8. I'm not saying cold-pressed juice is a scam. Like, I'm sure that it's... You know, fresh fruit and vegetables are expensive, and you need a lot of them to make juice. I'm just saying, like, make it cheaper because it costs a lot. At this organization, we're not so worried about problems, we're worried about solutions. And the solution to this stuff being expensive would be to make it cheaper. I don't know why anyone... They don't seem to see that. I wonder if we're past peak juice. I think that time to time. It was like 2014 to 2019. I feel like I knew a lot of people who were doing juice cleanses. Now that might be because I live in the Los Angeles of Canada. So every once in a while, I don't know what, like, where the idea of a juice cleanse comes from. I get the idea that's like, you know, look, here, let me put it this way. I can relate to this. With it, because on the internet, whenever you talk about something like a juice cleanse, we're in my demographic, it's probably like it doesn't work at all. I certainly am sympathetic to that take, don't get me wrong. But sometimes, as human beings, I think we have a bit of a fallacy a bit of a flaw in our critical thinking and reasoning. And that's like, hey, oh, I got like a little bit out of shape. Rather than gradually change my habits, and I'm saying I relate to this, not that I, like, you know, am superior to it. I fall victim to this kind of thinking all the time. Rather than, you know, gradually change my habits in a sustainable way that, you know, allows me to slowly make the changes I want to make in my life and, you know, maybe have the best chance possible to maintain those new healthy habits for the rest of my life, that sounds like a lot of work. However, I can suffer an undue amount of torture for a week or so if it would help me lose 10 pounds in time to be, like, you know, the maid of honor at my best friend's wedding. We're not, like, it's the same flaw that leads to so many problems in human thinking, right? Or in human behavior. Like, rather than, you know, and, well, I don't know, this is a more complicated subject, to be fair. Why am I playing a confession booth? Why am I not re-rolling the library? You can't judge me. I'm a little bit under the weather. Let me hydrate here. But, like, you know, this sounds rude and it's overly, like, hand-wavy, but people are like, you know, I want an investment that'll, like, 2x. And I'm like, okay, well, in all likelihood, you know, you buy, like, globally diversified index fund that tracks companies in a market weighted context, and you know, as a result, you know, it's probably on average like 9 years you end up getting a 2x on your investment. They're like, no, I needed the 2x like by tomorrow. And I'm like, okay, well, if you needed the 2x by tomorrow, you gotta get in a time machine and go back to, well, at this point you gotta go back to like 2019, I guess, to get the doubling. But on average, you'd go back like 7 years. You know, we're all victim to, like, you know, a lack of long-term planning to some extent. I think, at least. That's just, I mean, mind you, there's other conditions at play there. It's not the best metaphor I've ever made. I feel like I don't hear about people going on juice cleanses anymore. It was like keto and paleo were big, and then that got eaten by juice cleanses. And then I feel like that's been eaten by intermittent fasting. And I don't know if anything has eaten intermittent fasting yet. Yo, let's go. Look at that. We're going to get an angel deal, too. Now, that's, again, first off, I'm not the, you know, the god of nutrition has not logged on. I'm not saying these are all necessarily fad diets, you know. I think for anything out there like that, excuse me, you know what? Sure. Why not? Why not? And you know what? Why not? But I'm probably gonna ice you and then re-roll into another angel item. I'd love to get like Godhead or something. Please, please. I'm so convalescent right now. I've got a little tickle in my throat. I think you owe me, Sacred Heart, you piece. Anyway, for anything like that, you know, like I'm sure you can find somebody who it's worked for. I see a lot of people that, you know, swear by keto. Honestly, I think when I was like 20, keto would have been like the perfect diet for me. The idea that, you know, you could eat as much like, you know, meat and cheese and whatever as you want, as long as you never eat like a single leaf of lettuce. I think that would have been great for me, but I'm just going to be honest, to thine own self be true. I'm much more like of a carboholic kind of guy right now. I would definitely be more into a diet. Unfortunately, I don't think this is how, like, you know, the human body works. But I would definitely be more into a diet that's like, hey, just eat like as much potato as possible. I'm gonna take it, man. You're actually gonna laugh, but my mom is like, she's really into like health and wellness right now. And has been for like a few years for sure. And she's actually talking to me about this thing called like it's like the starch focused diet or something. Most of the time when she's like, oh, I've been eating like, you know, spirulina, I'm like, Mom, come on, I don't have the kind of time for that right now. Maybe later in life I'll consider it. And then she was like, yeah, I'm on this like new metric where like half of your plate should be like potatoes or sweet potatoes at every meal, and I was like, this guy sounds like he knows what he's talking about. Tell me more. Anyway, well, I know a lot of people that keto's worked well for. Paleo, I don't know if I ever know anybody that's, or if I've ever known anybody that's done it, but that's not to say it doesn't work. And intermittent fasting, you know, got people that are into that as well that have it's done well for. What is this? What? When getting hit, chance... Sure. I had no idea that's what that did, for the record. When getting hit has a chance to use the black card effect. And also the Necronomicon does double damage. Now that is a high value trinket. If you have this one specific item that's not that good, it's twice as good. Anyway. How did I get on? Oh, because I was talking about juice cleanses. Yeah, I don't know. How long until we get back around to the 1950s diet where you just like swallow a tapeworm? 5 years ago, I would have thought that it's not possible. But today, I'm like, dude, people are, you know, it's very simple. We've already popularized the deworming medicine. So now, people would be more likely to take the tapeworm, and then they'll be like, don't worry, I got a supply of stuff in my garage that I can use to kill it once I get down to my goal weight. Anyway, +2. Moving on. Hope everybody's doing well. Happy week before American Thanksgiving. Pardon me. I feel like this happens every year. To me. But the end of the year always kind of sneaks up on me. I think it's like, you know, when you read a fantasy book, and then at the end of the book, like, you think you have, like, 100 pages left, and then you read, like, and that was the end of the Fields of Pelennor, or something like that, and you're like, how is this over already? Then you realize there's, like, a 100-page glossary of stuff you don't care about, like the morphology of your average smoke leaf plant. That's what the calendar year is like. It's like, because from, at least here, even in Canada, from roughly American Thanksgiving till January 1st, nothing happens, except, like, you know, holiday times. I know, like, you go to work, and depending on where you work, like, if you work in retail especially, I'm sure if you work in, like, you know, package delivery or fulfillment and stuff like that, like, it's insane, and this is a bad take. But if you're, like, a white-collar office worker, at least my experience was that basically... Well, I know I've said this before, but, like, in the offices that I've worked in, I really feel like the vast majority of the work annually was done between, like, the middle of January and the start of May, annually. And the other, like, 8 months of the year, or 7 months of the year, is just, like... You know, well, May is like, oh, well, we can't really do that because, like, people are constantly going on, like, rotating vacations. As soon as one person comes back, another person leaves. Then in the fall, you maybe get, like, a little work done. And then as soon as American Thanksgiving rolls around, it's like, you know, Thanksgiving work party, Christmas work party, you know, a couple of days for work holidays. Sorry, I'm a little bit more congested than I thought, to be honest, but... The voice is coming back. It's just bringing something with it, unfortunately. And it's not even just, like, that you're not around to do the work. It's that, you know, you have to interface with other businesses, and you call them, and they're like, no, Jenny's, she saved up enough paid time off to be off until, you know, from November 1st until January 1st. And you're like, okay, well, I need, Jenny's kind of, like, mission critical for this thing. I need her help. And you're like, well, I guess I'm not getting any work done until February. Now, I recognize this is a very Twitch streamer take. The last time I think I did genuine work was probably, like, you know, sometime in 2010, maybe? So I'm not trying to knock it. I'm just saying, you know, the rest of the year, it goes by pretty fast. It's like that glossary. It's like it's the summertime, and then it's back to school. You get a little break for Halloween. And then you're like, what? Year's over already. Where did that come from? But it always it sneaks up on me. I forgot, like, this is my... Pardon me. Maybe a little more hydration's in order. Hold on, let me pause, let me hydrate. I'll be back in a sec. Alright, I am back. Hopefully better for a little bit here. But I do need to say, like, it's my last week, roughly, of being 32 years old. Which is crazy, because I was, like, 28 10 years ago. And then, for, like, a year and a half, I've been 40. So the fact that I'm turning 33 is very weird to me. It's kind of like finding spare change in your pocket. Like, I've been thinking of myself as, like, a 37-year-old just for... I don't even know why. Just, I identify with the age of 37 right now, or something like that. Then when I realized I'm only turning 33, I was like, oh my god. It's like I got an extra 4 years in the can or something like that. But I talked about it before, but like, you know, the older you get, the more kind of like fuzzy your age gets. When you're a little kid, you're like, I'm 6.5. I'm 6 3/4. When you're in your 20s, sometimes you're like, I'm in my early 20s, I'm in my mid-20s. When you're 29, you're like, I'm in my mid to late 20s, but actually that's just 30s denial creeping in. When you get into your 30s, it's much more like, you know, I'm like in my 30s. When you have kids, I also like, I think it gets even worse. I have no idea how old I am. I feel very little connection to any age. I am merely but a vessel for germs from daycare to pass in and out of. No thank you. Battery? Bro. Look, if we're talking about buffs that you could do in Isaac that would really pog me up, how about burlap sacks for 7 cents can no longer contain 2 pennies? Just throwing that one out there as a possibility, not trying to cause any problems. But yeah, I'm planning, as is typical, to not really do that much. Because I do feel like birthdays are kind of like, it's a personal thing, you know? I don't put much stock in my own birthday party. I am uncomfortable being celebrated. For the most part, I am uncomfortable, like, receiving gifts. That's not to say I don't like it, but, like, the moment of actually receiving a gift, I always feel like even if you like a gift, I find myself being, like, paranoid that they think I don't like it, so I overact. I'm like, oh my god, this is exactly what I guess we'll take it. I'm always like, oh my god, this is exactly what I wanted. How did you know? And then they're like, the receipt's in the bag. You can take it back if you want it. You don't like it. I understand. I'm sorry. I took a lark on this, and, you know. Then, like, I end up sowing the seeds of skepticism that they think that I like the gift because of the fact that I'm overselling the fact that I actually do like the gift. I find that whole part very, very awkward. I'm not saying it needs to be fixed, but I do think it's relatable, you know? I think, as a kid, you're like, whatever. This is like one of the rare means that I have to access goods and services. So I'll take advantage of it. Mucormycosis might have been a little bit more thematically fitting, but that's okay. I'll take my homing tears, please. Anyway. As an adult, though, I'm never like, oh, you shouldn't have got me this. I could have got it for myself or whatever. But I am always like, okay, here comes, like, you know, I got an A+ in drama and dance in 8th grade. Time to let those instincts come out again. I love it! We get Soul of Isaac? Is that correct? Yeah. Oh, dude, Birthright gives you the item description. I should have looked. But I saw that that's what it does. But I always find that, like, you know, it's a fitting metaphor, I think. Your own birthday is actually not your birthday. Like, other people will feel like they have a license to tell you what you should do. In the same way, and I apologize for this being, like, such a well-trodden analogy, but people who like to dance are always under the delusion that people who don't see the appeal of dancing are just, like, little, you know, shy people locked inside. It's so sad that you're so shy that you can't enjoy, like, the universal language of dance, you know? It's the you just gotta unlock your psyche, man. Dance like nobody's watching. Even if nobody's watching, I'm not dancing. Because it just doesn't appeal to me, quite frankly. You know, I've done it in a variety of circumstances. You know, some aided by legal imbibings. You know, alcohol consumption in my younger days, and you know, sober as well. I just don't. It just doesn't appeal to me, and it becomes so annoying because you have to like. You basically look like a complete wallflower to people who can't understand the concept of not liking dancing. You end up being like, you know, no, I really don't like it. They're like, come on, nobody's gonna judge you, and I'm like, I know, I just don't like it. You know, come on, it's so much fun. To the left. To the right. Let's make this, like, you know, following instructions, whatever. I'm a free thinker. I do as I please. I march to the beat of my own drum. Do your own research. Roll me. Salvation? Thank you. I was gonna say we gotta be at Seraphim by now. I think this will be speed. It's range. Okay. Not so good. Take me down. The same is true. I think that people who are, like, in love with their own birthdays can't understand the concept of, like, you know, I don't really want to, like, do anything for my birthday. It's not that I'm like, oh, don't waste your time, I'm not worth it. It's much more like, I guess I'm, like, happy with my existing life, and I don't consider it, like, a sacred day or anything. Maybe, like, the thing I would like for my birthday is, like, I'll choose where we eat for dinner. That's fine with me. That seems like an acceptable, not even a gift, but like, I don't know. I'm not cut from the cloth that is like, you know, today's my special day. Like, me and my 4 boys are gonna go down to Las Vegas. The wife gave me a Vegas pass. You know, I'm gonna blow an irresponsible amount of money on Texas Hold'em or something like that. Hey man, to leave Texas Hold'em out of it. It's not blowing it if I know I'm gonna win. But like, it just doesn't interest me. Excuse me. I'm more like, you know, going to bed like half an hour early would be kind of sick. I don't begrudge the birthday people. Maybe that's part of it. They feel like there's like an implicit amount of judgment coming from the birthday ascetics, the people who desire a more Spartan birthday, to flatter myself. Maybe they feel like, oh, if I'm having such like an opulent birthday, I'm being judged. No, I don't judge you. If anything, like, I think you're in the base case for society. Most people seem to be, at least even still at my age, but certainly younger as well, most people seem to be, you know, agreeing with you. I'm so stupid, I'm so fricked up. It's alright, we'll just re-roll it. Anyway. So yeah, that's basically, I don't know, man. Maybe I'll have like a thin crust pizza. How does that sound? That's like is my ideal birthday meal right now. Roll me. What the heck? Yeah, give me the auras. Let's just have one of every aura. I mean, this is an incredible run. We could fight Delirium here. If I fought Delirium, by the way, can you... The voice is back, baby! Took 23 minutes. 2 cups of cold brew. And an $8 cold pressed juice, but we made it back. This is like when... I really feel like when a professional athlete, like, gets concussed on the field, but then they just shoot him full of, like, cortisone and send him back out there. Then, like, 2 days later, they're like, oh, they're out for 6 months because of a concussion. You're like, what do you mean they're out for 6 months? I'm not saying they shouldn't be out for, you know, as long as they need. I'm just saying, like, you know, I saw them play 45 minutes after they took that hit. Is that how concussions work? Like, the human body's like, okay, we're gonna just nullify all the extra damage cognitively that happens within the next 24 hours. Hey, look, we're not gonna cause any neurological problems for you until the game is over. After that, You can't even be in a room with the lights on. But for now, sure, why don't you just be in an arena full of, 30,000 screaming fans and, take a hit from somebody who weighs 400 pounds, right on your solar plexus. Hey, I know you just got concussed, but we're just gonna, be cool about it. So, yeah, don't worry about when the play ends and there's, 9 human bodies stacked on top of you and you have to wait for them all to get off of you. It's no problem. Anyway. That's how I feel right now. It's like... I've been, they shot me full of those miracle NFL drugs, and I'm good to finish the game. Now we'll just have, I guess I probably should have taken Godhead. I thought we were going to get both for some reason. Holy Mantle's still really good, but it's no Godhead. That, oh, you can't judge me. I'm so ill. Oh, thank you. I don't know, maybe we will fight Delirium. No. You know why? Because it's just like, at the end of the day, I'm at a place in my life where I can just admit that this game does not hold me hostage. We're collaborators. And collaborators should be honest with one another when appropriate. Delirium is not a fun boss fight. To do Delirium just to do the fight would be lying to myself. And I don't mean that to be rude to the game. But it's just like, it's just not an enjoyable fight. Now, I will say, the true ending with good damage is an enjoyable fight, which is what we have right now. With, terrible damage, it's insane. It's like a marathon of just despair. So if there was a way we could fit that in, then maybe. But Ladder to Heaven, we actually can't really take advantage of that right now. By the way, this Eucharist duality combo, I mean, I guess we don't really need duality if we're always going in the angel deals, but still, roll me. I'm just worried that Holy Brim will crash our game. Both of these are really good, by the way. We must have seen, almost every angel item at this point. Hey, but if we don't get hit, we'll get a chest from, every room on the chest. That's gonna be sick, man. What a nice run the game has given me on a day where I could use it, quite frankly. I'm gonna take Small Rock. You know what? No. Small Rock is great, obviously. But with 10 luck, knockout drops will just be funny. Rip ear users incoming, I think. Let's see. Don't hit me, don't hit me. Only the weird enemies can hit me now. We gotta be careful. What is this? It's so good how they just get pushed out of nowhere by the beam. I'm not gonna worry about the consumables too much. Dude, this is actually kind of sick. Help me. It must be. Oh, you know what? I'm realizing we could just follow Star of Bethlehem. But in my defense, Star of Bethlehem is slow as heck, man. I guess if it was speedy, it would also be less useful, but... Oh my god, what is he doing? Jerry! No! Don't beam me. Don't beam me. I know I have the chariot card. Why am I suffering from too good to use syndrome for a chariot card? How about a chariot card? I was in the pool! Okay, maybe my voice is not as healed as I thought it was, but it's getting better. A little better all the time. Nope. Yes. Okay, just play it slow, because we want to make sure we're getting what we want here. No? No. It's Mega Satan. I'd rather get more items, man. Okay, so I think Serpent's Kiss. A Tears Up that probably won't even apply, but we'll try. Hey, look at that. I honestly think we should go Mysterious Liquid. I don't even know if it works with Tech X, but it does. Yo, this is pretty good, man. Take some flies. This is actually kind of amazing. Are you seeing this? Every time we walk into a room, we're like, you know, get away from me. Get away from me. They get like stuck in the corner, bodied by creep. This is a sick run. And thank you to the game. You're giving me a 30-minute run on a day where a 30-minute run feels very nice. I really appreciate that. If you would give me like a 70-minute run, this could be legendary for all the wrong reasons. Aquarius inherits our tier effects now, so I think this could be kind of sick. Yes, please. And we saw, I still think we saw every angel item in the game. Between Birthright, the D6, and then being able to get an angel deal almost every floor. Solidifies this pool as being like one of the most valuable in the game. Why am I talking about Isaac? Give me more metaphors you've used 100 times about dancing. Well, like, look. Again, I'm not hating on the dancers. But it's like dancing, skydiving, and roller coasters, man. People always assume, like, that, you know, I don't like roller coasters because, like, oh, I'm scared that I'm gonna die. It's not really true. It's more like I statistically know I'm gonna be safe. I just don't enjoy the feeling of, like, being terrified. Even though I know, like, the human emotion of fear is not always rational, right? Like, flying is not a problem for me anymore. I guess it's just, like, exposure therapy. But, like, heights, I do not enjoy. And roller coasters are like, hey, what if you were... Oh, this is sick, man. What if, like, we took, the way that you feel when you walk out on the balcony of, like, a tall building, but combined that with having absolutely, like, no safety mechanisms except for a seatbelt. I'm like, it just scares me. I feel relief when it's over, more than exhilaration in the moment. I'm just stretching. You know how it is. Hey, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. See ya!